What's up, YouTube? Was SM Pratt right? Do we need more supply? Am I wearing underwear right now? All this and more right after this. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Shug Show. Today I want to talk about the Japanese product supply issue that I talked about maybe a week ago. I did a video on it, responding to SM Pratt's video saying that there's so much demand currently with Pokemon Japanese product, and that Pokemon just simply needs to print more. In that video, I kind of disagreed with that sentiment, saying I don't think that's the issue, and I think a lot of the demand is from the flipper side or the reseller side in the West, and people taking boxes from over here in Japan and reselling them in the West. And then my solution was kind of, I think I didn't really explain it very well, but that if if the Japanese date and English date and all the other languages, kind of the set release dates were the same, that the demand would shift and go away from the Japanese product, since the Japanese products is usually the first one to release. Instead of like a lot of demand being there, being that's the newest thing, and they sometimes get it months before other languages do, that some of that demand would shift out back to the people like in the West that speak English would start just reselling the English cards and things like that. So that was kind of my solution to that. But I did want to touch on something I saw the other day online on Twitter, and it was kind of interesting. Kind of made me rethink my argument, and maybe consider, maybe Japan does need to print more, or the Pokemon Center does need to print more. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen right here, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here it is. Here you go. Go ahead and look at the account up top if you want information on the Japanese Pokemon market. This is a good way to get some info about the market, cards, and stuff like that. I've been following this account for a while, and it's pretty they're pretty knowledgeable. But anyways, down here you can see the translated version of what this says right here. It says that they did a poll for win rates on the Yokohama Memorial Deck, the lottery. This is the second lottery that has occurred since its release, and I actually entered it as well. My wife did as well. A lot of people I know did, and a lot of people lost. And you can kind of see right here below the results of the lottery, and this first bit right here is actually the win rate. The 14.2% out of, here's how many votes there were, 61,515 votes. So quite a good sample size. Nowhere, I'm sure this is nowhere near the total amount of people that entered the lottery, but it is a good decent size sample. So it is interesting to see that only 14.2% won. And then you have here the losers, 71.6%. So almost 3/4 of the people that entered, according to this poll, lost the lottery. And then these were people that did not enter the lottery, 14.2%. So, I mean, if you look at the data shown here, and you were to say it's a representation of every set in Japan that has been released recently, that it does kind of prove, SM Pratt's point right. It kind of shows that, it goes along with maybe Japan does need to, print more. Maybe the demand's so great that the supply is so little that it does warrant some more printing. However, the data that I just showed you, I mean, it's very, what's the word? It's very anecdotal. It's not the entire population of people that entered the lottery. It's just this guy's followers. And you could take it at what it is, face value. But it is still interesting to see. I think another thing is that it's for the Yokohama Memorial Deck. It's not for a regular set release, these results. So who knows? They're probably not printing as much of this Yokohama Memorial Deck as they would a regular set already. And again, it is the second lottery. It's not the first initial release. I believe Japan, the way they do it is, with most sets at least, is they print to demand, or their projected demand, with the first print run, and then based on those sales, they'll adjust their next print run to that. And you also see that with their print to demand products lately. With these sets, these newer sets they've been releasing, they sometimes do print to demand or print to order on the second wave, just based on their first wave sales. They say it's always dependent upon how well the sales are, and then after the first month probably they look at the demand, and then they do decide if are we going to do print to order or not. So that's another thing. But yeah, it's very anecdotal data. I still think that the main issue is the hype surrounding Pokemon right now, and people wanting to get their hands on the newest thing. The newest thing is always the Japanese cards usually, because they're usually the ones that release first. I think there was like a 1 or 2 sets in English a long time ago that came out first or around the same time, but it'd be interesting to look at that. I mean, the demand was definitely not the same as it is now, but it'd be interesting to see if there's anything significant in the data of how the demand is shifted with the release of those English sets at the same time. But yeah, I think that's the real issue, and I think if Pokemon was to adjust the dates of release to match the Japanese dates, that a lot of that hype-driven demand would shift from Japan to back to the different markets, and we would see a lot more. It would be a lot smoother collecting, at least for Japanese collectors. I think it would be a lot easier. I don't know how all that demand shifting back to English would, if it did shift back to English, how that would affect the English supply. But from when I seen it, like the last 2 sets, I don't know about 151, but the 2 before that, it seems like there's a lot of English stuff on the shelves. Kind of all of Scarlet and Violet. It seems like a lot of people are having too much trouble getting that stuff. And it just seems like it's on the Japanese side right now. But yeah, I think that's all I had. There's probably something I forgot to say. But let me know in the comments what you think of this video, what you guys think, what your thoughts are on the poll there and the numbers I just showed you. And no, I am not wearing underwear. If you waited for the end of the video to find that out, I'm not wearing underwear. I'm wearing silkies. If you know what silkies are, I usually wear that. So yes, if you don't know what it is, go look it up and you'll see. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in and hanging out, and I appreciate it as always. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.